All right. All right, there's Mike.
All right, I'm gonna have to do this a little bit solo. My group tended to not show up this morning. Money in politics has a big problem. Mostly, it's not getting heard. When the politicians go up on stage, they talk about creating jobs, creating a better future for us, but behind the scenes, millions and millions of dollars are going into these campaigns, and the money's point of view isn't getting out there. And so we said, well, how can we make money's voice heard? So what we did was we created this site called the Voice of Money, where we pulled up the campaign donations from this site, followthemoney.org, and we use all of these statistics and classifications around there to auto-generate a speech to tell us what the candidate is actually saying. So we can pull up a couple of examples. I'm not sure if you can read these all that well. But so this is the 2010 California gubernatorial race. And so if a candidate's campaign donations were to say something, well, who would they be supporting? Well, it turns out that Meg Whitman's biggest contributor is Meg Whitman, with $177 million. Now, we can compare that to Jerry Brown and see what kind of things he supports. So taking Meg Whitman's $177 million to Jerry Brown's $40 million. And these are some of the organizations that Jerry Brown actually cares for. And so you can go to the site, generate a couple of races of your own.
What's the site again?
That. And I thought it was a little bit interesting to pull up a bunch of other well-known races from the news. And so we can pull up Scott Walker's original gubernatorial bill. And back in 2010, he was really big on the financial insurance and real estate companies. But most of it came from individual constituents. Fast forward 2 years to his recall election, and he actually has strong opinions about government agencies and education.
10 seconds.
Great. So that's our project. Obviously, it's meant to be a little bit satirical, but we're hoping that this is a fun way of raising awareness about what the issue actually is. Because only by raising awareness do you get people excited enough to go out and do something about it. So,
Great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, hold on to that. I'm going to carry this one around for anybody who has questions. Questions? Bueller? Anyone? This is so straightforward. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. In this case, did you kind of make that template of the sentence, and then you basically are automatically grabbing in those specific top data from each one, or is it something that you just manually grabbed everything and just kind of?
There's a couple of randomized fragments. They all follow the same basic structure. I mean, they start off by saying how much of the campaign came from in-state versus out-of-state. That gives you a little bit of sense about who's actually interested in the campaign. And then there's a couple of different ways of breaking it down by individual donors, and then further down, breaking it down by section. In the case of, say, Meg Whitman, where 80% of her $177 million was self-financed, then all that it says is that she's interested in support of Meg Whitman and AT&T. All right. Compare that to something like Jerry Brown, who's got a lot more sectors, and it automatically adds them in. So the idea is to take a very data-driven approach and kind of make it a little bit playful and give people a fun way of presenting it besides the usual charts and graphs.
Brian has a question?
Yeah, I noticed that there are a couple of things, like for example, Meg Whitman is saying that I'm going to first look out for the interests of Meg Whitman, because she was spending her own campaign cash, and you have here Brown saying that his top priority will be the best interest of the Brown for Attorney General 2010 campaign. When basically that's a pretty standard thing. Is that if you raise money in a campaign and you won and you had some extra money, it goes to your next political race. These are edge cases, and I'm wondering if we're going to make sure that when this stuff goes live, that we'll be able to really parse these edge cases that are coming from, so that it sounds more rational, like it's something a little bit more plausible.
Yep, that's a great point. Anytime that you deal with data sets like this, data cleansing, data quality, and kind of sanity checking is always a difficult thing. I'm not a natural language expert. There's a couple of weird grammatical things that occasionally come up. If you love hacking away on NLP, come chat or fork the project on GitHub. There definitely is a lot of room for improvement, but this is a fun little proof of concept.
Great, thank you. Oh, we're almost out of time, but we have one more.
Oh, I just have a quick comment. I just wanted to say that this is hilarious.
Okay, great, awesome. Thanks so much, Dan. Great work.
Oh, and I'd like to give a shout out to the two guys who helped out yesterday but couldn't show up, Greg and Mucha Tavi.
Right, thank you.